I have an amazing story right next to me. His name is Kenja, and of course
Kenji.
this is Kenji, Kenji, and this is Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm Ninon, your host, but I have an incredible story, and it's all to do with COVID-19. He doesn't know I know, that's all I know though. I don't know anything else. I know that you have an amazing story of what happened to you.
Yeah.
He kind of, come on, hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
You're looking
recovered now.
Are you recovered?
Yeah,
Are you contagious?
No,
Because
I'm
you're
not
right
contagious.
next to me and we
No.
don't have masks on.
No, I'm not contagious. Took about 14 months to recover.
14 months
to
fully
recover.
recover. So you got COVID-19
in June of 2020. June 11th, actually.
June 11th, 2020.
Yeah, and then
how did you know that was COVID, and how did you know?
my health just failed. I
Just
couldn't
that
breathe.
fast?
Yeah, I got sick on the 7th.
Yeah.
By the 11th, they tested me, and I was tested positive. By the 20th, they said you have two choices: go on a ventilator or you're dead.
Well, you're obviously going to go on a ventilator.
So I did the ventilator.
So were you rushed to hospital?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
when did you arrive in hospital?
The 11th, June 11th.
June 11th.
Yeah.
They rushed you. Did they rush you?
Yeah,
because you
my
couldn't
ex-wife.
breathe?
I couldn't breathe. I was dizzy. I was confused.
Wait a second. He put something in there about the ex-wife.
Well, she was my wife then, but now she's an ex-wife.
Did she divorce because of all this thing going on?
Yeah.
So these are the consequences of COVID-19.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
anyway, June the 11th, 2020,
Mm-hmm.
you go to the
Yeah,
hospital.
because of the pneumonia and COVID, there was a lack of organs, and especially to the brain.
Okay. So did you have any of these illnesses before?
Yes, I had pre-existing conditions.
And what were
Yes.
your pre-existing conditions?
I was overweight.
You're certainly not overweight now.
No, I'll tell you a story about that. Overweight, I had type 2 diabetes, and it's called the opposite of anemia. I have too much iron in my blood. So it's called hemochromatosis.
Hemochromatosis.
Yeah, that's opposite of anemia, which is the lack of iron. I have too much.
You have too much blood.
Yes, too much iron
Too
in my
much
blood.
iron in your blood.
Yes.
I've never heard of that, but
Yeah,
it takes
it's rare.
So with all this not being 100%,
Yes.
you were apt to catch the COVID-19 more than probably somebody else.
Well, I wouldn't say catching it. The effects of it was worse because of
your other illnesses.
pre-existing conditions. Yeah. I think catching it just happened.
It does happen.
I was self-isolating since the pandemic started. I was furloughed, so I was working from home.
So you weren't even out?
I wasn't even out. I only went to Target, Sprouts, and Whole Foods for groceries. The rest of it was all Amazon. So I got it at one of those three places.
One of those three places. So you can get it anytime, anyhow, any place.
And I was masked. Everything.
You did everything you're supposed to do.
I did everything.
And that's probably because of your conditions, pre-existing condition.
Yes.
So anyway, so now we're in the hospital.
Yeah, now I'm in the hospital.
Are you on the respirator?
They slowly did that. They put me on a BiPAP machine.
Okay.
They were putting more oxygen in me, trying to keep my lungs inflated.
Yes.
And it got to the point where my oxygen level was 65%. And that's when they said, you have to make a decision. You have to go on the ventilator, or tomorrow you're dead.
So obviously.
So I did it.
Why were you reluctant, or why didn't they put you on the ventilator at the beginning?
Because I knew the risks involved, and it's June, so it's 2 months into this pandemic. So the hospitals really didn't know how to treat it. Yeah, and it got to the point where, because of the pneumonia, COVID actually thickens all your fluids in your body.
Yes.
So pneumonia, that's fluid in my lungs.
Yes.
That became a gel.
Yes.
That became a gel. I said, hey, I got a wet shot back at my house. You want me to get it and we can just suck it out? And he's like, no, it's not that easy. But the high iron in my blood, that was an issue too, because my blood was thickening. And they did this thing called the convalescent plasma transfusion to help me with my COVID. That actually made my iron levels about 4 times what a body can handle. So at that
it was
point,
even worse.
Yeah, so my blood was a gel. There was fluid in my lungs that was jello. And during the ventilator, I'm in a coma.
I was going to say, are you coherent at this time?
Nope, 6 weeks in a coma for that.
6 weeks?
6 weeks, yes. during that time, my heart stopped twice, so they had to revive me, and it was because my heart couldn't pump any more blood. It was so thick.
But you didn't know any of this was going on.
When they put me to sleep, they said, "Yeah, you're going to sleep." The nurse, I respect every nurse that's out there dealing with this because of what she did. She actually was there. She goes, "I know you're scared. It's the COVID force and no visitors whatsoever." I couldn't say goodbye to anybody, but she prepared me. She's like, "I know you're scared."
You have children?
No children. 2 dogs and a cat, so furry kids.
Did you tell them?
I wish. But the nurse was there, and she goes, "Look, all you have to do is lay back, let us do the work. Only thing we ask you to do is hang in there and don't give up."
So, with all your power and strength, and would you call yourself a strong man, or would you?
Not at the time. No, I was
weak. At the time, you were very weak, so you couldn't really bring the powers that you had before.
And
so it was kind of mind.
I was ready to give up, actually. And
really?
Yeah, and there was a document I signed for the ventilator. They have a low pressure ventilator, high pressure ventilator, and the worst one is called ECMO. And I can't remember what ECMO stands for, but that's a machine that takes over your lungs' function. So lungs actually stop working, and this machine becomes your lungs. I didn't know there were machines
like that out there. But so you've got a machine taking over your body.
Well, once that happens, though, you can never get off the machine. So I said no to the high pressure and ECMO. I said, I will do the low pressure. And so they said, okay, sign that. They also said, do you want to sign a do not resuscitate or your living will? And I said, no, I'm not going to sign that. But if it goes past where you need to do high pressure or ECMO, then let me go. Don't even try to resuscitate. Yeah. So they said,
this
okay.
is a very hard time. So you're very coherent at the time of doing all
right.
this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because of the lack of oxygen, my comprehension was bad. And so they're explaining it as best as they could. But like I said, I signed everything. They put me to sleep. It felt like a couple of hours, but it was 6 weeks. So
can you imagine that?
2 weeks in ICU because of the 2 heart attacks. When they woke me up, that same nurse was there, and the first thing she said was, "Good job, you hung in there, you made it." And
but
at
you
the time,
didn't even know you
I
were
didn't
doing
know.
that.
Yeah.
You didn't know you were hanging in there.
Right.
You didn't know. So what I'm going to turn around and say is God did not want him to leave yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet. They have things for you to do here.
Yeah.
Just to stay here.
But I went in at 180 pounds, and when they woke me up because of lack of movement, I lost all my muscle, all my fat. Well, I was big then.
Well, you were fat, but you're not a big guy.
No. I was down to 125 pounds. So that was skin, bones, and organs. That was it.
Well, so you haven't eaten.
Yeah, I haven't eaten. I was on a feeding tube. So when they woke me up, I tried to sit up because she's like, "You know what day it is?" I was like, "Well," so because I thought it was a few hours. It was June 20th when they put me under. I go, "What? Like June 24th?" She goes, "No." She goes, "No, honey, it's July 28th." And so I tried to sit up, and I couldn't. She goes, "No."
When she said that to you, what went through your mind? What went through your body as you thinking, well, what happened to me?
Yeah, well, I go, "I slept through 4th of July?" She's like, "Yeah, you slept through a lot." And then they explained to me what was going on through the whole treatment process.
And what was going on all that time that you personally weren't coherent, but you were still alive?
I was still alive, yeah.
So what was... You can't remember anything?
I had dreams that I remember, and I wrote those down because I'm trying to write a book on those dreams. And it's kind of interesting because all of those dreams were hospital-themed related dreams. So I was in the bed. Yeah, I was in a bed. But I was in different cities throughout the world. Some cities I've never been to. Some cities I've been to.
Now, me with my sense of stupid humor sometimes, was it exciting?
Kind of.
See?
But, yeah.
You have a little sense of humor in all this thing, even though you're kind of not where you want to be.
But there was one, I remember one time, it was Venice, Italy, where I was at.
How lovely.
Yeah, on the gondola.
Oh, how cool. This is beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, right? But the gurney was on the gondola. I'm in the bed, and we're waiting in line in the river to go into the hospital there. because I was.
Because you knew.
I knew I was in a
You
hospital
knew
environment.
basically where you were and what was happening.
Kind of, yeah, yeah.
Kind of. What
Yeah.
a strange, and you remember
But
that.
I remember that all these other dreams. There was one where I felt like I was restrained or I couldn't move or I was like paralyzed. I found out they had to restrain me in the bed because even though I was unconscious, there's movements, and apparently
And you were fighting.
I was fighting. They said I was combative. I fell out of the bed twice. I pulled out leads. Apparently, when they laid me on my stomach, called proning,
Yeah.
I was doing push-ups. And so, one of my dreams, I remember,
It's like a life.
I felt like I was paralyzed because I couldn't move, but they were restraining me.
Because they were
Yeah,
restraining
right.
you. But you felt it, but didn't know it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I wrote down the dreams. I'm trying to write the book, which is hard to do. Like, I wrote it out, but it's like a pamphlet. So I have to fill it in, put in a lot of details and stuff like that. So
well, maybe
I'll work on it. Yeah.
Maybe you put in, the beginning of your life
Yeah.
of who you are, what
Right.
you did.
Yeah.
So now that, so after what, 2 months, 3 months, how long? You
So
said you
6
died.
weeks.
You
Yeah.
said you
So
died.
I died twice. Yeah. They revived me. They brought me back. So 6 weeks.
You didn't know you were dying.
No.
You didn't
No,
know you
I
were
didn't know.
dead.
But here's one of my dreams. I saw my father. He passed away in 1996. And he actually, it was very short, but he actually said, it's not your time to join me and to go home.
That's what
I
just said.
remember that.
God
I
doesn't
remember
help.
that.
He doesn't,
Right.
He wasn't raised
Yeah,
for you to go.
Right.
You
So
still have things to
there's
do.
something else I need to do. I was
Do you
47.
know anything? Do you know anything about what you feel you want to do now? Because you've been through an experience that could give you a great big insight as to what you would like to do for the world and for people out there.
Yeah.
Of what happened to you. So
Yeah,
do you
exactly.
feel you want to help people now?
Yes. This has reset my life. Like I had to hit rock bottom. And now I've reset my life. Emotionally, mentally, physically, I'm better than I've ever been in my whole life.
And do you
So-
feel very, very good and clean inside?
Yeah.
Everyone's
My-
clapping. They should clap.
So,
So you weren't that good. Before this
Yeah.
happened, you were a bit of a naughty,
overweight. Yeah,
overweight, naughty guy. I
Yeah.
don't know what you were
Not
doing.
really mentally, like
You weren't mentally
great.
with it. You weren't. What were you doing?
Well,
What were
I'm
you?
a creative director. I was a photographer running a business.
Yeah.
I've been in corporate IT for it was 22 years. So I was really burnt out
But
with
you
the
weren't
corporate
really.
life.
But you weren't happy with
I
it.
wasn't happy. Yeah,
And
I mean,
you
with
weren't
the
treating people the way they should be treated.
no, I
or-
treated them. Yeah,
No.
no. As a business owner, I treated them
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
But I was drowning myself in work. My marriage. At the time, I thought maybe counseling would work, but I wasn't at the mindset of a
Well,
divorce.
you sure had counselling. You had
Yeah.
3 or 4 months of counselling in the
Yeah.
bed.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So,
But,
so you're taking your experience actually as something very, very good for you.
For 3 months, when they woke me up and I got home for home care,
Yes.
I couldn't move. I mean, I was a 47-year-old infant. I couldn't lift a fork to even eat.
How was your brain?
It was a mess. I would tell you that it was a mess because I went through PTSD. That's what my therapist said. I have PTSD. I've questioned every night, like, why am I still here? Like, my body was
not
awful.
there?
Yeah, I couldn't even clean myself. I couldn't even feed myself.
So you had
So I
to have
had
a
20.
nurse?
I had to have a nurse come in, help me, and I'm thinking, why? Why am I
So
doing this?
what gave you the persuasion and what gave you the inspiration to get yourself to where you want to be as a normal living human being? How did you get
This
that
is-
into your brain?
So all my messages from my friends on Facebook, text messages, emails, telling me, hey, we prayed for you, we're praying for you, all this. And I got to the point where, like, you know what, they prayed for me. I can't let them down.
I better do something about this.
Yeah.
So you
And then-
so you actually made your mind up
Yeah.
to get
And
better.
so I got better.
And did you?
worked-
As
oh,
soon
yeah.
as you made your
My-
mind up, did you start to get better?
My doctor said it would. So it was August 2nd when I came home. They said it'll be probably December before you're up and walking.
Well, hang on a second, it's December now.
Well, yeah, it was last year.
Oh, last
That,
December.
2020, yeah. So August 2020 to December 2020. They said
You might
that's
walk.
probably how long it's going to take for you to walk.
And how long did it take you?
So for 2 weeks I was in a wheelchair.
Okay.
It was about 3 weeks using a walker,
Yeah.
and then the last 2 weeks was a cane. So by I guess end of September, beginning of October, I was walking.
That's what you
With,
call.
but with,
That's what you call tenacity. That's what the word means.
but with an oxygen tank. I mean, I still needed
That's
that
fine.
because of my lungs.
Yeah, but you still did it
Right,
with
I did.
with that,
Yeah,
carrying that
Um,
around with you.
they-
How did you get off that?
just exercise, just push myself.
Getting your inside
Yeah, better.
better.
Yeah.
And recreating your inside without actually falling
Yeah,
apart.
the ventilator really damaged my lungs, and they said they
Well, they
really
probably
shouldn't.
said it would.
Yeah, they did, and that's
I mean,
what
they
kept me
told you.
alive. That's what kept me
That's
alive.
what kept you alive. But you,
So
but
I'm
you
okay.
had to take that chance.
Yeah.
And you were willing to take that chance.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
in the position you were in, you really probably didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. I was gonna be dead on the 12th. June 11th is when they
So
put me on.
now going through all this and
Yeah.
listening to COVID and listening to people with the ups and the believes and the downs and who believes, who doesn't believe, what is your belief right now of COVID-19?
Right now for COVID, I guess I don't want to make it a political thing of vaccinated or anti-vax.
No.
That's
We'll leave that to the
just
politicians.
all I want is to people to respect my decisions.
story.
No, not story. My decisions on my medical treatments, and I'm going to respect yours. There's no need to push your
Onto
opinion
somebody else.
on someone else because
Very well said.
this is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Entitlement is going crazy all over
Don't
right
tell
now.
me.
We are lacking empathy, and because of what I went through, that triggered
Humanity
me.
is a crazy thing out there.
And that's what I want. Like, just empathize with people's, their medical.
Respect them.
Yeah, respect them. Yeah,
They have their opinion
yeah.
and you have your opinion.
Right.
So respect each other's opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean to say yours is
Exactly.
right. It's just that's your opinion.
I didn't get the vaccine until July of this year. So that's like months. I mean,
Yeah.
almost a year later when I got my vaccine. But you know why I got it?
No, why?
I know it's not an immunity. And that's what mainstream media is pushing out. Like, oh, it's an immunity. It's going to protect you. No, it's not an immunity. It's actually going to help you if you get COVID.
It won't be as
It
bad.
won't be as bad.
So
and
this
to
is
know
what we have to know.
To know what I went through,
And you went through it.
yeah, there's no way I'm going to survive a second time. So if I get it again and I didn't have the vaccine,
But
I'm dead.
then you're
Because
supposed to leave the world.
Here's why. So in June of last year, everything was kind of new. The hospitals were doing experiments and taking, my nurse friends, my doctor friends, all of them who looked at my records and heard about what I went through, they flat out said, "You should not be here."
No, because they know
They
what
said
happened.
they know what happens. One of my traveling nurses flat out said, "Yeah, you really should not even be here with what you went through."
So what do you feel about that when somebody says, you shouldn't be here? I mean, thank you very much, but
No,
I am still
I
here.
actually-
how do you
I'm
take
like-
that?
I take it as I'm very lucky. So now,
Well, I don't know if
what's-
you're lucky. I think it's
no,
a
no,
little
no,
bit of
no.
your tenacity.
My next 48 years of my life is like a reset of everything.
you
and
feel
I feel like-
you feel that's like another gift to you.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
it's like being reborn again.
Yeah, I was.
You know,
I
you go
was,
to
yeah.
church and you get reborn.
Right. So
You
that's
know?
why if I could get my word out, and if it helps just one person, that gives me a reason why I was given the second chance.
What's the most definite word you would like to give out there?
Empathy. That's it. We
Empathy.
need more empathy.
One simple word, empathy.
Yeah.
It's very simple, it's very easy. Empathy, I hope you all know what empathy is. Because it seems like nobody knows what that word is.
Put yourself in the other person's shoes. And
Understand the other person.
Others, yeah. You don't.
It's not all about you.
Right.
You know who you are. So help somebody else if you possibly can.
Right. Anyone.
And it doesn't matter who they are.
You don't
It
know
has
what.
nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with colour, nothing to do with language, nothing to do with anything. It has nothing to do with anything at all. Actually liking or helping somebody else.
Yeah, you don't
That's
know.
what we do on Vegas Live with Ninon, actually. We help everybody. Why not? Why can't we help? What's wrong with that? It's easy. Doesn't cost anything. It's easy. Look, I've got your message out there. I mean, this guy, you actually went through this whole thing.
Yeah.
He's the living person of what happened with COVID-19. I hope you all understand what he went through. So what do you do now as a...
I'm a photographer,
You're still a
videographer.
photographer?
I
Okay. How can people reach you and how can they book you and how can they talk to you?
my website.
And how can they help you with your book?
Oh, okay. So KenjiKitaPhotography.com is my website. All my social media and my contact information is there. You can see the work that I do. And then I'm also a creative director at a couple of companies here. But right now, I actually started a new project. I'm an art director and editor for a magazine. I can't get into the details, but it's a digital magazine, and I really feel it's an industry disruptor for the
Well,
publication.
maybe when you
industry.
bring that out and you have it, we can advertise it for
yeah,
you.
for sure.
We'll
Yeah.
do that. Well, Kenji has been an incredible guest.
Thank you
It's
so much.
absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
I love stories like this. I know it's not the music business. I know it's not anything in the entertainment business, but it's still a living person that does photography, which happens to be involved in the entertainment business and the music business. So you are in the realm.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I've been here for 19 years.
19
I know
years.
everybody.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Southern California, but my parents, they're Japanese.
Japanese?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
how
I speak
wonderful.
Japanese, no
You speak-
problem. Yeah, I'm dual citizen, Japanese and
Can you
US.
say something in Japanese?
こんにちは、はじめまして。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Give everybody good luck. Wish them everything.
みんな頑張って。
There you go, there you go. Isn't that amazing? So we have all nationalities on the show, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you for watching Vegas Live with Ninon. It's a pleasure to be out there and to be able to give our stories to everybody out there. So just remember that you have a story that might want to be told. Get in touch with us, Vegas Live with Ninon, and we'll put you on our show and we'll listen to your story. We've had several stories in today, and they've all been very, very different. So, haven't they? They've all been different stories.
Different.
We've all had everything very different. Which is Vegas Live with Ninon, and go to YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to come to this incredible restaurant,
Yeah.
Amigos Taco Cantina. An amazing restaurant. They have people in here all the time. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what is it. It's 10 past 4, and it's still busy. It's busy here all the time. So I believe the food is fabulous. We'll be right back next week with new shows and new people and new guests and everything. And thank you to Maria Pureza. She's my producer and she's amazing. Take care. See you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing guy.